welcome to Football Bloody Hell. I'm here with Gary, as always. How are you, mate?
I'm good. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna pretend the past 45 minutes happened trying to get this to work. But yeah, we're good.
We've had a few issues trying to get it going, but yeah,
Um,
we're here now.
we're
So
here.
yeah,
We're here, mate.
we're here now.
But yeah.
When we first recorded this, so yeah, 40 odd minutes ago, Gary had nothing to complain about, but like,
Mm.
I believe he might have something to complain about now. But yeah,
I mean, I've got to be careful about what I say because it crosses the lines of pleasure and work.
that's
So
true. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
How are you?
Yeah, decent, mate. Decent. Yeah, glad to be doing the pod again. So yeah, pleased to it's back up and whatnot. But yeah, I'm all
Yeah,
good.
no.
I'm all good. Wednesday have been not as bad as normal, so that's been quite nice. But that's keeping my mental health in
Well,
check. So like, but,
mm.
but
And like I was saying before as well, it was turned 35 on Saturday.
yeah,
Um, yeah, so this whole complaints thing's meant to be a thing that's just accepted now, I think. I feel a lot older than I am,
you
but
do.
yeah, I've just started up running again because I've overindulged for about 2 years of my life, and
That'll make you feel older, mate. That
mm,
you start running
so
again.
yeah, so just yeah, started running again, and I feel like my legs have just seized up. Don't want to do anything ever again.
No, I know exactly what you mean. So I'm 37 this year. I'm still playing football, as you know, like 11 aside, competitive football. And I've been telling
Hmm.
you how many games I've been playing because of all the cancellations due to the weather. And my knees are shot to fucking bits, mate. Like, you should have seen me. Like, I played last night, um, and this morning I couldn't get down the stairs. I played this week. I've played Saturday, Monday, Wednesday, and I'm
Oof.
playing again Saturday, Monday, Wednesday.
Jurgen Klopp would be fuming. He'd be
Yeah,
fuming.
for a professional, they should be able to do that. For me, I'm not a
Mm.
professional, but
Do you
yeah,
do,
we're doing well though, which
do you
is the
think
main
that?
thing.
I was going to say, do you think that's your body telling you, come on, Matthew, it's
Maybe,
time.
maybe. Thing is though, I'm okay
Do
now,
you?
so it's usually the morning after I'm a bit achy, like my muscles are still recovering, and then as it
Mm.
gets through the day, I get better. I could probably run around this evening if I wanted to, but I'm not going to because it'll probably just at some point my
Yeah.
left knee is just going to fall off. I think, but like,
It's. I'm trying to think of an. Can you remember when? I think we've talked about this before, but can you remember when Stan Collymore played for Leicester
mm,
and he went to kick the ball and he like dislocated his like ankle and broke. I don't know how you can break and dislocate the same thing, but his foot got caught on the turf kicking the ball and he's in agony and then he looks down and his ankle's pointing the other way.
I mean that's horrific, but
I hope that doesn't happen to you, but I just think it's something innocuous, is what I'm trying to say.
yeah, it's hopefully not. We've had enough
Like
injuries in our
you
team
go
with
to you
with the past
like I
schedule.
say, you're gonna go and take a throw in, and you pull your hamstring. Like,
The worst thing will be when we were talking about like we did this in a pod a couple of months ago, didn't we? Like with the stupid injuries and things like getting out of bed and stuff.
mm,
Imagine like I just pulled a hammy pulling with the socks up or something like that, or like put my shorts on. It's- and the socks that we've got are so fucking tight as well. Like I wouldn't be surprised trying to pull them on. You have to properly like fucking absolutely wrench them
but
on.
so I didn't realize like but it really bothered us about all these players who were like what you call it, like cutting the holes in the socks, or
Mm,
like cutting slits in the socks. And I was like, why is it doing like what's this trend?
couldn't
And
tell you.
apparently it's to combat what you've just said. So apparently it it alleviates the pressure, so it's less likely to cause strain. So apparently, if you wear your socks too much, there's too much pressure on the muscle, and then obviously,
But
if
then,
your muscle's constantly tight and you're like explosive,
but
it
surely,
causes more tears and stuff.
but surely that will render compression socks pointless. So to get
But they're
rid
not
of, like,
wearing
I
them, are
used to
they?
get quite bad cramp in my calves, and I used to wear compression socks, and they would do the thing,
Mm,
which will make it
maybe.
tighter. But
Me, when when I used to play football many a moon ago, 11 aside, I used to wear a sock and then pulled those. Can you remember the shin pads that had the ankle guards in,
yeah, yeah,
and they were like huge? I had them, and then a massive pair of socks that were dead long, but like were far too tight,
yeah, yeah,
and I was all right.
yeah. I don't know where it's. I think it's more
And
to
these
do with
micro shin pads, ugh.
some fucker in the Premier League has done it, and every like kid is now very impressionable, and they thought, wow, if they're doing it, I will. But do you know what it does
Mm.
in amateur football level though? It just pisses off the person who has to look after and pay for the kit, because you're gonna have after every game to get new socks,
Mm.
because
Like you
not
talk
everyone's
like
gonna cut their socks, and they're
like I
fucking
just don't.
wrecked. You put them through the wash, they just unravel. So like you're gonna have to buy new socks that people are gonna ruin every week.
Mm. But I mean, yeah,
You
it
can you
does
can
it
tell
does
like
seem like a fad.
mindset of mid-30s. Like fuck that shit. I'm just putting socks on.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I don't, yeah, I'm not a big fan of the whole micro shin pad,
Oh yeah, we
and
got one fellow who's got shin pads about this big.
yeah, I don't get that. I mean, you've seen the size of your shin bone. That's a hint.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Should
It's not
be at least covering most of it.
like I'd say like I mean most Premier League footballers do it, but like if you look at like I can understand like the ankle side of it because like that can impact your touch and stuff.
Yeah,
But surely your shin pad isn't doing that much.
no, I've got ones that are like what that, but they're like
Hmm.
slipping. It comes with
Yeah,
like
I
a
used
sock,
to.
and then you slip them in.
Hmm. That was like I would say most recent, and I can kind of get that. But if you look at a footballer, like where most connection is, it's like shins shouldn't be that bad, but like your ankles and stuff. But
Yeah,
they're just exposed now. But anyway, there we go. Straight into
that's
the
what
hot
that is.
topics, mate.
Straight into the
Shin
nitty
pads
gritty
and
of shin injuries.
split socks.
Like people's feet falling off.
Never But news, I think we normally kick off with, well, I say kick off. We normally talk about, and there's a bit of news. It's not. I suppose there is some breaking news which came out today, but more so another reason to add to why the Premier League is such a pathetic organisation
Mm,
and overrated as fuck is the news that Everton's got a further 2 point deduction,
yeah,
and that adds to the 6 points that were already deducted and then amended, and then Forest also being
deducted points.
investigated. All of this has happened,
Leicester
and then
City.
today's news, Leicester, that's one as well. Sorry, Leicester, and then today Sheffield United being told that next season they'll be deducted 2 points. All of which has happened, yet Man City and Chelsea have got nothing still. You can't tell me this is like
Like
this
I've
is a fair and fair
yeah,
process.
like I've always said, every football league in Europe in the world has had a match fixing corruption betting scandal apart from our perfect
Mm,
English Premier League, and people who think that the Premier League isn't being like essentially sports washed, then
mm,
they're delusional in my opinion, because at the end of the day
mm,
every other league does it. Every other league. That doesn't mean like that ours does it because every other league does it. football is a money business now, and when it comes down to money and greed and things like this, people will do anything to make sure that they're still getting the right amount of money. So if
It's
that
like,
means winning, if they have to finish in a certain position in the league and they have to pay referees to get those wins, pay them to get other teams to lose, pay off players, do all this sort of stuff, if they have to do that because their finances have to meet a certain thing based on prize money, they're going to do it. Juventus did it for years in Italy. They got done for it.
in a similar vein, but like if you look at just over the weekend, the stuff that happened where Fenerbahce asked for their tie to be moved to accommodate
It's
the
rife in
European
Turkey.
game,
Yeah. Rife in
and then
Turkey, rife in Greece. If you look at the Greek league, it's the most corrupt, one of the most corrupt leagues in the world.
I forgot
Hungarian league,
there was
pretty much every game is match fixed.
I forgot. I think it might have been. I don't know if it was Turkish. It might have been the Greek league, and I'm gonna butcher the player who said this as well. But I'm thinking maybe Stephen Corker. I think it might be him. It might be somebody else. But the thing that blew my mind is in one of those leagues, they don't give you a full fixture list because it's so rife with corruption that they literally go week to week who you're playing. So you'll
Yeah.
go at the start of the week, you're playing Limassol or what? I mean, that's a different country, but you know what I mean. Like set like Cyprus, Limassol, and then you won't find out who else you're playing until that match is done, and then during the week you'll be told, right, you're playing because it's that bad. It's like Jesus.
It's
The fact that we've got functioning leagues is
it's
something to
that
be.
bad, but then it's also, I think it's like that because they're in terms of TV rights, they want to get the big teams on, and if there's two big teams at the top of the league, they put it on bumper sort of like crowds and things like this. So then they go, oh, let's put that game this weekend because we'll get a lot of money for it, and we know the outcome because they'll dictate the outcome. But I mean, to say that the Premier League doesn't have that after what's been going on, when Everton cooperated with the Premier League and the FA, and they're the ones being hit the hardest. That makes me sound hilarious. Man City have denied everything and gone, no, it's not us, not us. It clearly is. You got 115 charges. You make up random companies to pay yourself for sponsors. I
That
mean, come
sponsors
on,
one.
like you're doing it in plain sight. it's silly
It's
now,
all,
isn't it? Like,
but it matches the. I mean, we're going on a bit of a
bit of a rant,
down the
yeah.
rabbit hole here. Well, rant, rabbit hole, whichever way you want to put it. But like, if you look at Saudi Arabia, they don't get told what to do. They'll
Yeah,
make
they
out
don't
like, oh yeah,
because
we do, we understand, but then they just do what they want anyway, and it's like, well,
of course
it's
they will.
starting to come across in the Premier League for
Yeah,
those teams.
they don't care because they've got the finances, they've got the essentially the finances to pay for any fines, pay off people they need to, buy the best lawyers. They can do whatever the fuck they want, get away with it, and then
It's
it makes it not really a sport anymore because essentially one team is just paying to be first. Like,
but yeah, it is.
not
It is.
even not even like they might not win every game because there is still that sporting element to it where anything can happen in football, but it is heavily dictated in their favour.
Yeah, like I suppose there's like influence. I think is the big word.
Influence, yeah. Which
Influence, and then.
makes it dull.
Mm, but this is the other thing. It's with so you look at the teams now who have got points deductions like Leicester have got them pending. Obviously Sheffield United, Leicester pending, and
Forest
then
and Everton.
Forest. But then Everton's the only team who's had it actually executed. But
Forest have as
then
well, yeah.
sorry, and Forest have had them executed.
Yeah.
But then the fallout from that or the butterfly effect from that is obviously it's we touched on we've talked about it before where it's like the mentality, the impact it has on the mentality for the teams around it, in particular Luton. And then outside of that now is like I don't know if it's just a rumor or if it's something that floated about the club's paying an excess tax. So if they overspend, they have to pay a tax
Yeah,
to the
it
Premier
was.
League.
So I saw some news today, I want to say, that the financial rules are going to remain. So they're not actually voting on that anymore. I think because of the backlash that it
Hmm.
was created. Because essentially
It's it's
what that would do is
obscene.
make the rich clubs richer, the poor clubs poorer, and then essentially those teams that are owned by states could do whatever the fuck they want and just pay the £2 million fine that's not even the price of a player or something like this and get away with it. It doesn't matter. There's no consequences to what they're doing, and there isn't at the moment.
But
To be honest, uh, let's be
but if
honest.
but if
Unless you're Everton, Nottingham Forest, Leicester, or Sheffield United, there isn't any consequences to what they're doing.
no,
They're making an
yeah.
example.
Well,
What the Premier League are trying to do, they want to govern their own, because this independent body is going to come
mm,
in and they will tear up that rule book that the Premier League have got and start. They don't. No matter how big the club is, they'll start fining them and giving them points deductions and things like this. And that's what the
it's
Premier
kind.
League's scared of, because they feel that if that comes in, their big clubs will start losing revenue, which will lose the Premier League revenue, which in
Mm,
turn will make the I don't know, their brand less or
the
something like this.
product.
So what they're trying to do at the moment is essentially they're trying to police it in a way
Mm,
that they think, oh look, we can do it ourselves. We don't need that independent body. Look at us. We can give Everton point deductions all the time. Look, we're punishing teams for this sort of thing. Look, we can do it ourselves. We don't need you. But in matter of fact, all they're doing is shitting on the smaller teams in the league.
mm.
Just to prove
It's
that they're like, Everton's basically a, I don't know, they're basically just a like sort of test rabbit, like
the first ones through
test
the
dummy,
door.
aren't they?
Mm. Yeah. I mean, we've had our fair share of run-ins with Everton in cup ties and stuff. So, I don't say this as like being coming from a position where I've like got any fondness for Everton, but it's like if you take your kind of allegiance off, it's difficult.
You
But
feel for him
like,
a little bit, don't you?
I think even Liverpool fans would be like saying this is taking the piss. Like you cannot. I think most football fans would. I would probably say like if Newcastle didn't have to take over and this was happening to them, apart from the banter that you would have with their fans and stuff, you say yeah they penalise them, but like it's clearly like I don't know what it is about Everton that's pissed them off so much. But anyway, but that was the bit of news I'd seen, mate. So
They're being made of an example of them. That's pretty much it. They thought, who's been doing it recently? Everton. Let's just make a fucking example of them to prove that we can do it without an independent body, so we don't have to. It'd be better if they chose to make an example of Man City and their 115 charges of, or whatever they are. But you know,
mm. Do you want to lose? Do you want to lose Haaland? Do you want to lose Pep? Do you want to lose
yeah, do you want to
Foden? Do you want to
lose
lose?
that brand that
Uh-huh.
loses
Mm.
that the Premier League and Sky thing that they've got going on? Like, it's at the end of the day,
Mm.
it's not really a competitive sport in that league anymore, is it? It looks like a
Yeah,
competitive sport at the outside, but on the inside, it is essentially just a entertainment piece for the media,
yeah. Cash cow.
a cash cow.
Premier
Yeah,
League cash cow.
that's all it is.
Well, anyway, mate,
There we go.
we've started. We've that's the world of football, sport, and news in. I say world, the England. It's like that was like the World Wrestling Federation, the world champion, but it was all American wrestlers. World Wrestling Federation only made up of Americans when it initially was called that before it got sued by the WWF properly. So yeah, quick short break, mate. I think,
Yeah,
and then we'll dive into something I've been quite excited about, and then had the soul sucked out of it halfway through the season.
there we go. There we go. Right.
And we're back at football, bloody hell.
Indeed, we're back, mate.
What's
Nice
up?
break. Have a sip. have
I
a
did.
drink.
I had a sip. I had a fiddle with my hair, and I said, it
Longest break of your
keeps the
life.
demons. It move my hair around, keeps the demons away. All the jerking about, like turn my light off twice. But I wanted to talk the championship, mate, because this has been one of it's been a mad season,
It's been
and it's
mental and like.
so exciting.
Let's put it this way: if you said to me, Sheffield Wednesday potentially going to survive in the championship at Christmas time, I would have said, "No fucking way! Are you delusional?" Now we are
He's been
joint on
drinking
points
again.
with fourth from bottom somehow, and we're playing Stoke next, which could potentially
You've got a,
be. It's a 6-pointer. Let's put it that way. If we win that
you've got
game
like,
and then we got Blackburn after that, who are in free fall, we could be
and
six
you've got
points clear
Huddersfield,
with
haven't you?
2 games left.
Have you got
We could be.
Huddersfield to play as well?
Hey?
Have you not got Huddersfield as well?
No, I don't think we played Huddersfield twice.
Oh well, ignore me. But I knew there was 2 6-pointers in
We've
there, so
got.
Stoke and
So we got.
Blackburn.
Is it 4 games left now? I want to say 4
Uh,
games left. We got
yeah, I
Stoke,
think so.
Blackburn, West Brom, you lot.
That's right.
Win
Oh,
against Stoke and
I don't want to
Blackburn.
send.
I think we could be 6 points clear and somehow done a fucking miracle. like we
It's
had
like that song.
we had a good old comeback against Norwich the other day, 2-0 down, draw 2-2.
I know. But this is what I mean. This is what I mean. Like it's madness. Like
Norwich are
if
up there.
nobody wants to win the league. Like Ipswich drawn against Watford and thrown games away. Leicester had the title sewn up by Christmas and then just decided, let's stop winning
I
and
think that
stop
points
playing
deduction
football.
looming over them thing for the Premier League that we talked about earlier has maybe had an impact on some of the players.
Like instantly going up against it straight away. Maybe. But like it's like literally you're looking at it and either like at this point now, really, I mean anything can happen now, but you've got Leicester, Leeds, and Ipswich. All of them could win the title. All of them could go up automatically, and all of them could slip into the playoffs by accident.
Hey, there's a reason that regularly the Championship is voted one of the most exciting leagues in the world. It's because of the caliber of teams in there, and anyone can beat anyone, apart from Rotherham, and and then I had to throw that in.
Yeah, sliding. Thanks.
And it's just wild, isn't it? Like there's predicting it, which is what we're going to touch on, is nigh on impossible. And I don't think we've done too badly. There's some.
We haven't done great though. Let's be honest.
We haven't done great, but there is some in there that we've got. Like they're sort of in that area of the table. If you break down the table into like quarters, let's say, so bottom quarter, top of the bottom, middle sort of bit, and then the top 6, let's say.
Yeah.
There is some in there that we've got relatively right. I say you've got most of them right, to be fair, mate. But like,
well, you know,
but
it's
yeah,
because
again,
you spend too much time in the Scandinavian leagues.
I do.
You could get that.
I spend too much time not looking at English football to actually. If I paid more attention to English football, then I might be able to predict it better. I think I predicted who's top of National League South. To be fair, like, I did get that one. And I predicted
Obviously
2 of the top 3 in the National League North. So
absolutely unbelievable. But I think for the championship, like,
and the National League.
So yeah, I'm gonna put my Sunderland. I'm putting my Sunderland hat on here when I say this, but like this season halfway through was over as soon as we appointed Mick Beale and got rid of Mowbray and then sacked Michael Beale after the nonsense over the Derby, like the Derby Gate and rebranding our stadium and all that nonsense. It's just a bizarre season for us. And then on top of that, we lost 7 games in a row,
Hmm.
or 7 or 8. I think it was 7. Um, and then we've just kind of drawn a couple, 1-1. And if this isn't like the madness of the championship, right? We've played 5 games, kept 4 clean sheets, conceded 5 goals in 1 game, and the team that beat us 5-1 then got pumped the week after 5-0. It's like, what's going on? What we've kept clean sheets before that and after that, but in the middle it was like, let's just lose 5-1 today. It's like,
Yeah, why
what are you
not?
doing? But
And you're only
I
10
think
points ahead of us now.
yeah, it's scary. Like for a period of time, I was thinking we've went into free fall here. Like we are genuinely. I think we'll finish about 14th, 15th. I think we'll get a couple of points because we've got West Brom next. We play you last
You
game
will.
of the season, and I can't remember who else. But I don't want to take too much time on us. But it's been mad because like when we sacked Mowbray, we were 3 points off the playoffs,
Hmm.
and then we've just went, let's go into full. Um,
Meltdown.
I'm leading to, I go into full meltdown, self-sabotage, but I'm leading into something, the fact that for a long time, I think Sunderland fans have craved like nothing to play for season. There's been so many years where we've either been
I
fighting
mean,
relegation or fighting promotion.
you know what? To keep the blood pressure down, being in the middle of the table is quite nice, isn't it? Like having one season where you just sit there and like, yeah, we're doing nothing. Like it's great.
Yeah.
Blood pressure's down. There's going to be no dodgy documentaries on us. it's like,
uh,
it's like...
Nothing's gonna happen. We might upset a couple of teams, but like going from the drama of last season and getting to the playoffs on the last day to this season,
Mate,
we could have easily been in the playoffs if we didn't have that spell. But again, we'll be coming back. But the mad thing is, I'm sat here now thinking, like, we're definitely not getting playoffs, and the likelihood of us getting relegated now is like
yeah,
it's gone.
you're not
It's
going to
not
get
going to happen
relegated.
really.
It's out of. I mean, there is a lot of teams down there that could get relegated, but like,
And well, it's down from like I think the biggest thing I've got wrong in the predictions, because this is probably a nice segue in, if this is all right, Matthew, if you indulge us, please indulge me, is I would say the biggest thing I got wrong was Birmingham.
Birmingham are. Yeah, I
Like,
think I think
I,
we you had Birmingham in sixth.
yeah,
I had them 12th, so I had them mid-table because they showed some spark of it, and they made some really good signings in the summer, didn't they? And they had it all. We thought they
mm,
had it all like sorted for them, and then then they started the season really well, and then Wayne Rooney.
and but then they've been really unlucky because they hired Mowbray, and although Mowbray didn't like set it alight straight away, like they would turn in a corner, they had a couple of good results, and then sadly he's been um, medically relieved of his duties, not like sacked. He's going to go back,
Yeah,
but they could find themselves playing in League One, which is madness. They've just got all that American investment, and it's a mad. I think that they're 23rd. Like I can't believe how bad their season's gone,
yeah,
considering
no,
how well I thought they'd recruited.
yeah, it's been
But
horrendous,
again,
isn't it?
it just shows ownership, clueless ownership. Like
That's a big
I
thing.
wouldn't say I was as completely clueless, but like to finish sixth and then be looking at 15th, 16th place finish the following season, on paper that looks like clueless owners to me.
Mm.
But should we lead into our predictions? We'll do the bottom three um, as it stands now.
Yep,
Um, so currently, you have Rotherham. This is in the actual table. So you've
yep,
got Rotherham bottom, Birmingham, as I've just mentioned, and then yourselves, who are level on points right up to Huddersfield, and then it's like level points pretty much from QPR down, isn't it?
yeah. So it's basically
In 16th.
anyone from 16th to 23rd. Two of those are going to go down probably.
And if you look at the teams in there as well, like QPR, I know QPR
Blackburn,
have yeah, Blackburn, like
Stoke.
the Mowbray
Stoke,
effect.
Stoke, since they've been relegated from the Premier League, they've never really sort of like made an inkling of going back up again, have they? They've always been down in that mid to bottom half, haven't they? So
The problem with Stoke is though they've had players from the Premier League and signed big name players for Championship on a lot of money,
they've run out of
and
parachute payments now, haven't
mm,
they're
and
done.
that's where that's coming in, and then multiple changes of manager, from Michael O'Neill to right through to Alex Neil, and obviously getting rid of him this
I've,
season as well. Like
yeah,
a lot of turnover,
I feel
and
like
it's
Stoke are one of those teams who have lost their identity a bit. You know, one of those teams we talk about where they sign just a load of random old players and then try and do
mm,
something with something, but don't really have any ambitions.
problem with Stoke is they changed something that was a winning formula for them, and I understand why, because it's that brand of football that gets
Mm.
thrown around. But like, it's like they've taken that away from themselves, and look
But
what's
then,
happened. They've fell out of the Premier League. They've done nothing in the Championship because they've not been near relegation. They've not been in promotion races or playoff races. They've just been
there,
anywhere from 12th to maybe 16th, and to be in a relegation battle this season. There's so many teams in there, but going to our predictions, I had Sheffield, Rotherham, and Cardiff. So I would say they're probably my biggest surprise. Um,
likewise,
and who
I had Rotherham last, QPR, and Cardiff. We
not
both
far
had
off.
Cardiff down the bottom because of how shot to bits they were last year.
Mm,
They didn't really sign anyone of note, did they? I think that shows you how unpredictable and how even the Championship is, though. You could have a shocking season and stay up. So, say Plymouth finished 19th, yeah?
mm.
Next year, they could finish 8th. Like, it's so, like, random in terms of, like, that middle 12 or 14 teams. You could just throw them into a hat and pick them out and go, that's where
Mm.
they're going to finish.
I think a lot of these predictions as well, like we can we can share them in as a whole and go through them, because I'm not too sure the best way to kind of go through it. But like probably look at the top two playoffs and then relegation like we are now.
Yeah.
But realistically, if you look at the teams that we've got, they were on course
They were.
for that finish had they not had a managerial change. Because
That's
like
true.
if you look at Chef Wed, rock bottom, if and they were rock bottom with Darren Moore, like sorry, not Darren Moore,
Cisco Muniz.
what's his name?
Cisco.
Cisco Muniz, and then Daddy Rose come in and turned it round.
Yeah.
Rotherham were always going to be bottom, let's be
Yeah, yeah.
honest, or second bottom. And Cardiff, didn't they appoint a new manager at the start of the season? I could be wrong. I could be wrong on that. But then QPR were on course to be relegated. They sacked the manager and brought in that foreign guy, and he propelled them up the table, but obviously still in the battle. Plymouth, I had them down the bottom, but they were actually, I've got Plymouth exactly right. Bristol, Nigel Pearson played horrendous football with them. I thought they were going to be awful. Got Alex Mannion. How do you say his surname? Um, he was the former MK Dons and Oxford
Oh, yeah.
manager. What's his name? Is it Mannion? Mannon.
Manning, I think, yeah.
And then he's come in and propelled them up the table.
Liam Manning.
Whole lot. Liam Manning, Alex Manning, Liam. I'm thinking Alex Neil still. So like, you get the point though. There's been some positive changes, but then if you look at us, we fell through it. Birmingham has fell through it. Um, who else have we got? Blackburn changed the manager. They've fell through. They've not improved. It's like,
Huddersfield did
it's just mad.
a couple of times.
Yeah, it's
It's
like
yeah. It is difficult to predict.
Millwall as well. So I would say at the minute we've got two of the bottom three right each, and then if we look at the top six, let's do the playoffs first. So in the playoff positions, I had Leeds, Southampton, Ipswich, and Birmingham.
I had Leicester, Watford, Ipswich, and Southampton.
And the current playoffs positions are Leeds, Southampton, West Brom, and Norwich.
Just outside the playoffs, I had West Brom and Norwich. But like, I think I put Watford in there because I think they had a half decent summer. They've still got a core of a decent side in there somewhere. And I thought they had a bit of a transition season last year. Usually what happens is those teams bounce back up and go near the top again, don't they? That was my thinking anyway. Like, it was completely out of the box because I think they finished like 13th or something last year or something like that.
Yeah. I
Because
think
the top
and
two,
then
though,
I'm,
is wild for me, like Leeds and Middlesbrough, if we touch on that.
well, I had Leicester and Borough, and again, they still had the players. They hadn't made any sales at this point, and I thought they were going to come back with a bit of recruitment. But
So, in terms of the top six, though, if we take out our look at our predictions, we've definitely got at least four of those six there or thereabouts, haven't we?
I think that's decent.
I think
What's
that's
that
decent.
like? Well,
We've both of us have got Leeds, Leicester, Ipswich, and Southampton in there somewhere.
mm, I mean, I look at Borough now and I think, but Borough could still make the playoffs.
They're only 6 points off it, aren't they? In ninth.
Mm, I mean, 67% of the things are right in the top six. But if the thing I've got spot on so far, so if we quickly count, Matt,
Yeah.
out of the teams that we've got in the right positions, so actual positions though, so not like
Actual positions.
yeah.
Oh,
So
jeez.
I'm gonna have to annoy people here. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I think you are annoying people.
I am 5, 6, 7. 7. That's not very good.
It's alright, mate. I got one. But a few of them are switched around, like Plymouth and Huddersfield. Like, I got them. I got Huddersfield 20th, Plymouth 21st.
We'll have to do a full. We'll have to do a full feature-long episode to
Yeah.
do all of the leagues and stuff. But it just goes to show like how.
Has anyone out of our predictions then? Is anyone in there that? I mean, one of the shocks for me is Millwall being so low, as well, considering how
I
consistently top 10 they've been for the last few years.
I think the biggest one for me is by the looks of it, Birmingham. Birmingham's the biggest.
Oh,
That's
Birmingham.
if we're gonna.
Yeah,
I
if we're
would
going to
say
go
if we're
there,
looking at.
Birmingham.
I think I got 5. I counted Preston and Coventry the wrong way around. So I got 5 in total. But yeah, I would say Birmingham's the one I got the most wrong. And if they go down, they must have on record like one of the worst seasons.
Well, they're not going to
Like,
be the worst first half to a season. I think we've got that nailed. Like, I don't think that's going to be
how,
repeated. The worst second half to a season, though, because can go to Rotherham. That's fine.
well, here's the thing for you then. Let's put some final predictions on,
Yeah.
and we don't have to change it
Let's
or
start with
anything.
the top because it's probably a
Yeah,
little bit easier.
who's going to win the league?
I think Leicester are still going to win. I think Leicester are going to win the league, to be honest.
I do. I'd agree with you. I just think they've got enough experience to just
Exactly,
limp
yeah.
over the line. Who goes up with them automatically?
Leeds.
Based
I
off of
think
the
Leeds because they are a more experienced team. Ipswich are playing well, but they are dropping points against teams that they should be beating. It's so random how the games are being played. I don't know. Should we have a look at their fixture list? That's what I want. Let's have a look at their fixture list. Who they've got left.
well, Leeds play. Leeds play. I've got them now for you, mate. So I'm prepared. Leeds play Blackburn. They play Leeds. Leeds play Leeds. Leeds play Blackburn at home. Then Borough away, QPR away, and then the last game of the season. An early kick-off, 12:30s, because the last game is. They play Southampton at home, which is a massive
that's
game.
massive. Yeah, yeah. Ipswich have got Middlesbrough at home, Hull away,
So Berwick have
Coventry
creeped.
away, and Huddersfield at home. I think Ipswich have arguably got Leeds could. I mean, what's the points like? We're
I
getting
think
real
they're on
fucking
this.
technical here, aren't we?
Well, Ipswich are a point ahead, so Ipswich have to drop points.
So let's put it this way: Leeds are playing who at the weekend? Blackburn
Blackburn.
at home.
Yes.
Yeah, they're going
Leeds
to
are
win
at
that.
home at Ellen Road.
So that's 90 points for Leeds then. Ipswich are at home against Borough. Potentially a slip up. Maybe a
Got a
draw.
tougher run in.
Maybe a draw. Borough are on. They haven't lost in the last 5, have they? So I think Ipswich
Do you know what's going to be the
arguably got a
difference?
tougher run in because you've got Borough, Hull, and Coventry are all trying to hit the playoffs.
Playoffs.
They're running for the playoffs. Hull have dipped off a bit, but Borough and Cov are actually playing quite well.
Mm.
The only game that's probably a banker for them is the Huddersfield game, which is the last game of the season. It might all be over by then.
It might be, but it might not be.
Yeah, Huddersfield might decide to start winning. I'm going to go with Leeds. I'm going to put my neck out there. I'm going with Leeds.
Yeah.
I'll say Ipswich finish third.
Yeah, I do think that.
And then lose to Norwich in the playoff semi-finals. No, I can't.
Yeah.
No, I can't do that.
Yeah, I think. Looking at, I just think Ipswich have got a knack of scoring late goals. I'm gonna go with.
They have won the last 3.
I'm gonna say Leeds. Say Leeds. Yeah, and then playoffs. I would say Ipswich. I think Southampton will make them. No issue.
I think Ipswich,
it'll be
South and West Brom will be there. I think West Brom are on a bit of form at the moment. I know they've been drawing games, but they've been winning as well. I think they'll be all right. They got to play us as well, remember? So yeah, they'll be fine.
But I just think
you got to play them as well, West Brom.
Yes, the next at the Hawthorns. I think if you look at if you look at Coventry's games, they've got Birmingham, then Hull, which is again 6-pointer, Blackburn, Ipswich, QPR, and then outside of that you've got. I don't think Preston will make it, but I think it'll be as is West Brom and Norwich.
Yeah,
I think that the only change we'll see in the top 6 is Leeds over Ipswich.
Yeah, I'm thinking that as well. So there's a 5-point gap with 4 games left.
Norwich are weird.
They are a weird team, aren't
they? They've got Preston, which again big game, and then Bristol, Swansea, Birmingham. So I'll probably say they've got the easiest running out of Norwich, Coventry, Preston, and Borough. I would say Norwich have probably got the easiest.
Coventry do have that game in hand, though. Coventry could sneak it. They got Birmingham. They've got Birmingham,
an FA Cup
Blackburn,
tie.
and QPR, which that's 3 teams that are fighting down the bottom. QPR maybe have gone in a bit of form, but they lost 2-0 to us at home, which is shocking.
Yeah.
Blackburn and Birmingham are looking horrendous at the moment. So that's 6 points for Coventry and the game in hand. So if you get, they're only a couple behind Norwich then. I reckon that could go to the wire between those two.
Maybe.
Ipswich could already be in the playoffs, not going to get promoted, and deliberately lose to Coventry on the second game of the season, so Norwich don't get in the playoffs. You don't know.
Yeah, I think the top 6.
I'm not calling out match fixing here, mate.
No. I think the top 6 stays the same. The only change is Leeds and Ipswich, and I think
I think Coventry will get close, but they'll fall off. They won't quite get there.
And I think the bottom 3. I think
who's Plymouth?
I think you get out.
Hey?
I think you get out of it and Plymouth fall in.
Plymouth are in free
again,
fall at the moment, but then so are Blackburn, and I think Birmingham are probably gone if they keep playing the way they are.
Huddersfield were fighting with the fans though, weren't they? It's one of the players.
Get points deduction.
So maybe that's turned a bit toxic.
Points deduction. We know what the EFL are like, mate.
But yeah, I'm gonna say the bottom three is Rotherham, obviously, um,
Yeah, they're already down.
Birmingham,
That's a good call, that.
and Plymouth. Maybe Plymouth.
Plymouth are in a bit
Who
of
do you
free
think?
fall at the moment, but so are Millwall. I know they picked up a draw. They won their last game, did they?
Yeah, Leicester
Yeah,
beat
which is
Leicester.
bizarre. The way that Millwall have been playing, then they go and beat Leicester. But then we drew
I
with
think they've
Norwich
got.
after being 2-0 down, which is nuts as well.
Well, mate,
I'm
after
just gonna have
all
a
of
look.
those,
I'm just gonna have a look and make my predictions. I want to look at the run-ins of the bottom. I'm gonna discount Millwall because I think they'll probably be okay, and QPR I think are probably all right. Um, famous last words, those two. But yeah,
mm. Just signed their relegation.
yeah, exactly. That was deliberate, by the way. Saying
Yeah,
those.
yeah.
For some reason,
Total
it's not telling me
sabotage.
Huddersfield's fixtures. You got Huddersfield's fixtures anyway.
Uh, I'll get them.
Plymouth are playing
Huddersfield
Leicester
are.
next. Jeez.
Oof.
We're playing
Uh,
Stoke, so that's a massive game. Stoke have got
Hudders.
us, Plymouth, Southampton, Bristol City. So realistically, Stoke need to pick up points in the next two games. If they don't pick up points against us and Plymouth, Stoke could be in real trouble. Because Bristol City have, for some reason, have decided that they've got nothing to play for and they're just going to batter teams now. So,
Like I'm like looking at Huddersfield now. They've got Bristol, which is a tough game. They play Bristol away. Then they've got Swansea at home. Then they play Birmingham, second to last game
right,
of the
I'm
season,
calling
which
it
could be
now.
the decider.
Blackburn is going to be my third team. You know why? They got Leeds,
Why?
us, Coventry, and Leicester. Right, that run-in is disgusting. And like Blackburn are in real fucking trouble, mate. They just lost 5-0 last night to Bristol City,
Jesus.
but they did beat you lot 5-1.
Oh, mate. I
Where
wouldn't read too
from?
much into that. Like, I wouldn't read too
Thing
much
is
into
though,
that. To be fair.
if they lose that game against us, is the vital point for Blackburn and for us as well. To be fair, that game is massive because if we win against Stoke, which is another big game on this Saturday, and then Blackburn us that game, if we get a win there, Blackburn are in deep shit.
Mm. Do you know what's really funny though?
Yeah. What? You could relegate us on the last game of the season.
I mean, I don't want that to happen. However, I think some of our fans would enjoy that. But the funny thing is, right? It's so funny to be sat here watching you
Get
like
excited.
figure out no, not just excited, but like figure out the algorithms and think about all the different scenarios and the goal swings and stuff, and how many other blokes across the country are doing that now. And I'm sat here thinking, we'll play West Brom, get beat, what happens? Nothing. If we win, what happens? Nothing.
Yeah, if you want to have a walkover on last game of the season, that would be delightful. If you just wanted to give us the 3 points, play your under-19s or something, I don't care.
We can't play our under 19s. That's our first team. All of them are kids. We'd have to play our under 16s or something.
Probably beat us. But that'd be
Well,
like
it'd be nice
the
to.
under-16s versus that'd be like a kids versus dads match, wouldn't it? You know that end of season curtain raiser before they give out the trophies.
That our full strength team is there. Both of our full strength teams is the kids versus dads match. Jesus Christ. My word. But mate, Blackburn's a shout. So you're going with who? So
I'm going
Rotherham's a
with
given, but
Rotherham, Birmingham, and Blackburn.
wow. Mad seeing them in League One again.
Birmingham and
But hey.
Blackburn going down would be a shock. But I just think it's pivotal on a couple of games though, isn't it? Because all the teams down there are playing each other quite a lot, aren't they? Like we've got 2 games against teams down there. If we don't win them, then we're probably going to get relegated. You know what I mean? If we don't get anything against those 2, then it's done. So quick roundup then of what we're going through, what we just discussed. We reckon Leicester and Leeds at the top. Top 6 generally is going to stay the same. Bottom 3, I was going Rotherham, Birmingham, Blackburn. You were going Rotherham, Birmingham, Plymouth. Is that right?
Yes. Yep.
And we're held to that. So if we got any viewers and that happens, then
if anyone's listened,
let's
then
put it
you
this
can.
way: Gary's prediction of Sheffield Wednesday finishing last is not going to happen, and that is guaranteed because Rotherham are shit, and I'm delighted.
And on
and
that
my
note,
prediction
mate,
of us finishing 17th could still happen.
mate, stranger things have happened this season.
Like the fact that we've got even a chance of staying up at this point in the season is amazing. But yes,
Strange.
On that note,
stranger things have happened.
Indeed. On that note, shall we go for a quick, short break? Come back.
Let's
do a bit of a preview of other leagues, and then go into our question. How's that sound?
Delightful.
Delightful, mate.
And we're back.
We are back.
Football bloody hell.
Indeed.
Football bloody hell.
Bloody hell. What is this? Football?
Dramatic. But yeah, mate, so we're at the tail end of the pod now.
We are.
To let everybody know. We're at the tail end. And yeah, you were going to preview some of the games, leagues, whatever you want to do. Because we normally come up with a question, and I think I've kind of answered my own question really, and got you to answer it as well. But which league did you want to focus on initially?
I was just going to see what games are on this weekend and see if there's any tasty ones that might be quite interesting for people who want to follow anything that isn't what we've talked about all so far, which is the Championship.
There was instead of asking you a question, you can look at the previews for the games, but I just wanted to shout out one team because I wanted to change it up a little bit. So rather than ask you a question, because my question was going to be, who do you think's going to go up? Who do you think's going to go down?
Yeah.
I just want to give a shout out to Spennymoor Town, who are currently playing at the moment. They're playing Banbury United, and they are beating them 4-2. The one thing I want to say about Spennymoor is the only reason I follow them a little bit is because daughter's friend's dad, and I'm weirdly related to him. But anyway, by the by, they were in a pretty much a relegation battle, like about 3/4 of the way through the season. This will be their fourth manager through different reasons, like previous one leaving. And when it comes to like semi-professional football, there's all sorts of different factors like stress and work and all that kind of stuff. And they hired the current manager, which name escapes me. I'm not like a massive fan of Spennymoor. I just follow the results and see how they're getting on, right? They went on an unbelievable run of just beating everybody that came in front of them. They went unbeaten in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games, with 9 wins in that 10, lost to South Shields, and then they've drawn 1, and they play Alfreton Town, and Kings Lynn Town in the last 2 games. Kings Lynn are mid-table, and Atherton fighting for the playoffs as well. So their next game is going to be a 6-pointer, and they're currently level on points and 71 points with 2 games to go with South Shields and Curzon. So they could sneak into the National League North playoffs.
It's top 7.
Realistically, they're probably going to end up, the best case is 7th, because if they do go level on points for South Shields, the goal swings like 20 plus goals in South Shields' favour.
Is the playoffs.
I know that, but I'm just meaning the best. They couldn't finish 6th or whatever and get a better game. So in the way that works and stuff.
They'll relegate Banbury tonight then.
Yes, it's 4-2, so they're down.
That's what they're local to me.
Yeah,
Banbury.
They're gone.
National League North, local to me.
I know. Is it because there's
what
too many
Bishop
teams?
Stortford doing in there? Like all the teams are actually Southern in the National League North are in the bottom 3.
Peterborough
Gloucester,
yeah, it's just...
Banbury, and Bishop Stortford. Gloucester and Banbury are near me. It's not fucking north, is it?
It's ridiculous.
Brackley.
It is ridiculous.
My kids, my under 17s played a game in Brackley the other week. That's how local we are. Fair play to Brackley, they're in the top 3. But like, yeah, still. I drove to Brackley. It took me 40 minutes. That is not north. That is not. If anyone isn't aware, I live in Oxfordshire, so that is not fucking north.
For geographical. But the thing is,
there's too many southern teams. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm. They can't get them in the southern leagues. But then
there's too many teams for London, I think, is the actual thing.
Yeah.
So they bump up all us wannabe Midlands places to the north.
But it's just like they're playing tonight, and obviously, I mean, that's a massive result for them. But it'd be level on points, 2 games to go, and Curzon, I don't know how you pronounce it properly, but they have +10, Spennymoor have +9, and just to give you context to the results that they've had, Spennymoor just keep winning by a goal, like 1-0, 2-1, 2-1, 2-1. Beat Curzon actually 3-0, Gloucestershire 3-0, then 1-0, 3-1, 1-1, 1-0, 2-1. It's so, I really hope they get into the playoffs. I don't think they'll go up, but like, what an incredible effort, because to turn it around, because previously, right, previous to that 10-game unbeaten run with 9 wins, they went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games without a win. 11 games without a win, and out of those 11 games, 3 of them were draws, the rest of them were losses. So to then be going into the last 2 games of the season with the potential of the playoffs, I think that's incredible. I think it's absolutely unreal, but that won't be heard about because it's outside of the
Football League.
Football
It's
League
outside of the media's vision. Also, when you mentioned Curzon Ashton, they're from Ashton under Lyne. Yeah, I got an interesting fact about Ashton under Lyne. I just want to share.
Give it.
Famous Italian footballer Simeone Perotta was born in Ashton under Lyne, and there's a statue of him outside the fucking ground.
It's so bizarre.
245 games for Roma. He was born in Ashton under Lyne. Yes.
That's a great academy product, that, like.
Yeah, it is. Came through at Regina, actually, which is some way from his house, but yes. But yeah.
Oh, just want to say, Liverpool are getting spanked at Anfield.
Atalanta, yeah.
3-0.
3-0.
Jesus. Hey. Klopp
That's home as well, isn't it? I just saw who Spennymoor's manager is. It's Graham Lee, ex-Sheffield Wednesday defender. There
you go. I knew there was some sort of affiliation. I didn't mean to mention it, but I couldn't remember why. What about West Ham, man? West Ham 0-0. But anyway.
What do you think about Lederhosen winning the league by Leverkusen winning the league at the weekend? Because they could.
It's probably going to happen, isn't it? It's just a matter of time. I'm glad he's staying there, though. Because I know with all the Klopp stuff, I'm glad he's decided to stay there.
Give it a go in the Champions League with that sort of team. Maybe try and do it again. If you've had an unbeaten season with a team in one of the top 5 leagues in Europe, you would think you're not going to jump ship, are you? Like, it would seem a bit mad to do that.
At the same time, though, what else is there to do? You go unbeaten in a season with Leverkusen. He's not going to do that again.
I know, yes. That's like, football manager stuff.
And Liverpool's
really,
knocking on the door.
That is football manager stuff.
But you know what's going to happen? They're going to win the league at the weekend and lose the last game. Or something. Like, there's still a few games where they can do it, but like they're definitely going to win the league and then fall off.
What do you reckon? Bayern finishing third?
No. I mean, catastrophic, isn't it?
I think it's hilarious.
Maybe, like, do you think the Harry Kane thing, him being like, that big of a
Cursed.
player coming into them. Just cursed them.
I have no idea. I just think he's either the unluckiest man alive when it comes to actually winning trophies with his own team, but then he wins a lot of individual trophies. So his trophy cabinet's quite fine. But like for any team that he plays for, it seems bizarre, doesn't it? That I think their only hope at the moment is the Champions League and stuff.
But
Really.
I mean, I didn't expect them to beat. Or get a result. Sorry, from Arsenal.
No.
But they
they
did.
Yeah, so they're probably putting
But
all
that's
their eggs
Arsenal,
in that
isn't it?
Champions League basket now,
Arsenal
aren't
and
they?
Bayern.
And you have to think, like, out of the teams that are
Yeah.
left in the Champions League, they are one of the few that have nothing to play for, aren't they? That are actually a decent side, other than the Champions League. Because they're not chasing the title now, they've probably given up on that. Maybe maybe Barcelona as well, but yeah. 8 points behind,
like,
but yeah.
I mean, there's been some funny games. There's been some funny games in the Champions League already, hasn't there? With the Paris Saint-Germain result. But here, in terms of like games, is there anything that's standing out for you at the weekend before we wrap up?
Looking at them, not particularly. If we want to go blunt, no, there's nothing like massively standing out. It's quite a pivotal end of the season stuff, so a lot of the games actually mean something, don't they? But in terms of like deciders, yeah, just keep an eye on like Leverkusen playing Sunday. They'll probably win the league, so I think it's on telly, so you could probably watch that. It's
What do you mean you don't want to preview Port Vale versus Exeter?
No, I couldn't stand that one. No, I know it's a massive game in those parts of the world, in Port Vale or Stoke, should I say? But oh, there's a couple of big games in Stoke. Then
What do you mean you don't want to preview Salford versus Bradford?
To be fair, have you seen at the
I
bottom
mean,
of
happening.
League Two? There's been a bit of a resurgence from Sutton and Forest Green, who a couple of weeks ago looked dead and buried, like to be relegated to the National League. And both of them have started, for some reason, deciding, oh yeah, shit, we might get relegated if we finish in the bottom two. Let's play some football. And I think Sutton have actually pulled themselves out of the relegation zone now, haven't they?
Yeah. Forest Green are going down, though. They might have won one game or something, but they're going down.
Yeah, I think so.
100%.
Colchester are in there as well, aren't they? Colchester got games in hand, though.
Yeah. It's Colchester. It's going to be Forest Green and Sutton. They've kind of fought a little bit, but curtains.
I'm surprised how Notts County have had a bit of a free fall out of fucking nowhere in that league, and they're now in the bottom half, quite comfortably in the bottom half.
Poor appointment, and obviously lost a really, really good manager. I mean, he hasn't really torn it up with Swansea, but like he's definitely above League Two.
Yeah.
But it looks like. I mean, I don't want to go down another thing, but like with Wrexham, I thought they might have bottled it. They looked like they were going to bottle it and go into playoffs. Like I thought they might, but they look pretty comfortable for automatic promotion now. They're 5 points clear of fourth.
Between the two of us in our predictions, you had Stockport first, I had Wrexham second, so that counts, doesn't it? You had Mansfield fourth as well, mate. So here we go.
I had MK Dons in there as well, but here we go. But here we are, mate. We're at the end of the super duper data computer prediction pod.
We are, yeah. And Rain Man himself is
here. But let's look forward to it, and next week will be more of the same. Probably keeping close eye on all the fixtures and results. But it's been a pleasure, mate.
Yeah, it has been. Yeah, it has been a pleasure, mate. It's been good to chat again and good to catch up with our predictions, even though they're not
shocking.
They're bad, aren't they? They are bad.
Yeah, they're shocking. Let's be honest.
But if we could predict league tables at the beginning of the season and get them all right, then we'll yeah, we wouldn't be doing a podcast probably. We would be rolling in cash. So like,
Would be in in jail for sports corruption.
Yeah, exactly. So
well, mate,
we'll leave it on that.
Thanks very
Yeah.
Thanks very much. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah. Cheers, everyone. Take care. Bye.
Bye bye.